ELN is your inauguration station. We have reporters in D.C. with coverage of the events from this weekend.
Fighting the flu. The recent flu outbreak has hit North Carolina hard. We have updates on how to stay healthy this winter.
Bursting the bubble. A student is teaching her own class on a hot topic this winter term. Stay with us to find out more.
I'm Nicole Bloom.
And I'm Brenna McDavid. ELN Local News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to ELN Local News this Monday, January 21st, 2013.
Reporters have been in Washington, D.C. all week for the inauguration, following the weekend of events and activities. President Obama was sworn in this morning in the 57th presidential inauguration. Hundreds of thousands were in the nation's capital today for the festivities. The vice president was sworn in by Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor, followed by the president being sworn in by Chief Justice John Roberts. In his inaugural address that lasted about 20 minutes, the president spoke of his goals for the next 4 years, including economic recovery.
A decade of war is now ending. An economic recovery has begun. America's possibilities are limitless, for we possess all the qualities that this world without boundaries demands.
Here on C-SPAN, the president was very clear to talk about equality. That was the theme of his main speech, and talking about this year, we want to focus on bringing equal rights to everybody. It just so happened that this year inauguration fell on Martin Luther King Day, which was perfect. He quoted Martin Luther King and talked about diversity.
He continued to repeat, we the people, emphasizing the togetherness of his next 4 years. And this is the inaugural parade after the speech.
They've been going since 2:30 today. It looks like we have the Navajo Nation Band.
There have been different bands all day from high schools. There were Marine bands. There was a historically black band. He's representing all different forms of, all different kinds of people, and trying to emphasize equality among his parade.
Volunteers gathered in the nation's capital Saturday to honor Martin Luther King Jr. and to lend a helping hand.
Usher, Katy Perry, the stars of Glee, and many more came out on Saturday to be a part of the kids' inaugural ball. The event was put on by First Lady Michelle Obama and Dr. Jill Biden as a part of their Joining Forces initiative to support military families.
We are so proud of you, and we will be here for you while your moms and dads are away.
Singing, dancing, celebrity appearances, and races between former president mascots were all a part of the night.
But not least, Teddy Roosevelt.
During the event, the First Lady gave a glimpse of what it's like to be a part of a military family.
It means always thinking about things that are so much bigger than yourself. It means growing up just a little faster and working just a little harder than other kids. And it means doing the greatest thing you can ever do with your life at such a young age, and that is to serve our country.
Military spouse Nicole Mormon knows firsthand how tough it is.
It's very difficult during deployments and them being gone on missions. I would say about 75% of the time the soldiers are out. So it's very difficult for children and spouses to just pull everything together.
Sisters Kayla, Jessie, and Sierra agree.
Yeah, because some of them don't get to see their parents every day. Yeah, because they go off into the army and to wars and stuff, and they don't get to see their parents.
And when I think about who we are, when I think about what makes America great, I think about all of you, our men and women in uniform, our military spouses, and our amazing military kids.
Janae Frazier in Washington, D.C., ELN Local News.
Some were celebrating in the Capitol. ELN students did their part here on campus as well. Our Carissa Parent is here in the studio to tell us more about it.
Thanks, Nicole. ELN hosted a full week of events honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., including a special college coffee, speakers, and a march through campus. ELN finished up the week of remembrance with a day of service. McKinnon Hall this morning to participate in the annual book drive. The Carnoodle Center for Service Learning and Community Engagement hosted a discussion about children suffering from poverty here in our country and even in Burlington.
A lot of times our assumptions of what poor people are false. So the thought that a lot of impoverished people are only in foreign countries or they're only people who are on welfare and things like that are not completely true.
After the speech, students and community volunteers started packaging donated books to mail to poverty-stricken, hospitalized, and orphan children.
60% of low-income children do not have a book of their own at home, and this is something that I really try to fix through just collecting used and brand new children's books.
The community donated over 250 books for these children. And even though this is a significant drop from last year's 1,000 books, the founder of Kids Read and ELN student Brenna Humphreys is still satisfied with the results.
I set a goal, but although we might not have reached the 1,000 books mark, I'm still so ecstatic that I'm able to change the lives of at least 250 students.
If you are unable to donate today, the Kids Read program is still accepting donations at kidsread.org.
Our Janae Frazier was at a different kind of celebration Saturday night, and this one featured children with military parents as guests.
And we'll have a ball.
The North Carolina Society Ball took place at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. on Saturday. The event is packed with entertainment, food, and fun. With the help of volunteers and event planners, it's taken over a year to plan this event. Landy Elliott, a volunteer, says the event fit perfectly with what the ball was trying to achieve.
It's a patriotic spot. You know, the whole place is red, white, and blue. Baseball is America's pastime. I mean, I think you'd be crazy not to do it here.
North Carolina congressional leaders shared their thoughts on stage.
I think the state society has given a new meaning to what it means to have a ball.
We're going to end with the North Carolina toast in honor of President it's not Romney, it's President Obama.
And the North Carolina-based band Liquid Pleasure serenaded the crowd with timeless hits.
People here tonight at the National Park Stadium come from all walks of life, but their love for their home state brings them together.
It is my family, it is my home, it is where I get my values, and it's a very special place to me.
The Black Tie Affair brought together North Carolinians at the nation's capital. Regardless of political affiliation, they came to celebrate their state and nation. In Washington, D.C., Naima Abdullahi, ELN Local News.
And we apologize, that was actually a package by Naima Abdullahi on the North Carolina Society Ball.
To the North Carolina Society Ball, Naima Abdullahi will be at the Presidential Inaugural Ball tonight and has updates for us from the Capitol. Naima?
Thank you so much, guys. I am here right now at the official 2013 Inaugural Ball, and it's amazing how the Washington Center has been turned into the ultimate dance floor. The theme tonight is red, white, and blue, as you can guess, and it's honoring military families. It's standing room only, and right now we're going through sound check with a few of the performers. The President, First Lady, and Vice President Joe Biden and his wife are expected to perform here, and there are artists who are here tonight which will appear to different music tastes and generations, such as Alicia Keys, Stevie Wonder, Brad Paisley, Jamie Foxx, the cast from Glee, Katy Perry, Smokey Robinson, and Usher. I talked to some of the volunteers here tonight, and they said it's taken a very long time to plan for the event tonight, but they're pretty sure that everyone in this room is going to have the time of their life. Thank you so much from Washington, D.C., Naima Abdullahi, ELN Local News.
To stay healthy, fight one of the toughest illnesses of the season.
And coming up, it was a packed weekend in sports as both men and women's basketball tipped off against SoCon opponents. Find out how they fared.
Underwritten by Cancun.
Tomorrow, inauguration weekend will be over, and the president will look ahead to 4 more years in office. What do people expect from the new administration? We asked a few ELN students to share their opinions.
Well, in the next 4 years, I'm expecting for him to make the economy better, just because in the next few years I'm going to be graduating and I want to be able to get a job and succeed in life, so that's what I expect out of him.
Well, I expect him to do comprehensive immigration reform. He's going to continue balanced deficit reduction, and he's going to make a bigger commitment to climate change.
Hopefully we see some more things on job creation. Hopefully we just see some sort of movement forward, because right now I think we're in a really stagnant state.
As students look ahead to the next few years under the administration, Congresswoman Virginia Foxx spoke with us about what college students should keep in mind over the next few years.
Say to the college students is to pay close attention to what has caused the situation that we have in the country, and not just be taken in by sound bites, but pay close attention to it. The other thing I would say to them is not to give up hope, to work wherever.
With many beginning the job search this spring, North Carolina Representative George Holding has some advice for seniors looking to enter a tough job market.
Take a job that maybe is not your ideal job, but in everything you do, just keep building your resume. Just don't sit still just because you're getting a no to that dream job that you really want. Just keep building your resume and going forward, because right behind you next year is going to be another crop of graduates and that you'll be competing against. So it's use your time wisely.
And as everyone knows, it's Martin Luther King Day, and that was honored in Washington, D.C. through the Day of Service. Our Meredith Kelly is there with the story.
The National Day of Service kicked off on Saturday in honor of the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his contributions to society. People who attended could get involved with 7 different types of service: community resilience, economic development, education, environment, faith, health, and veterans. The venue hosted special guests such as Star Jones, Ben Folds, and Miss America Mallory Hagan. Newly crowned Hagan expressed the significance of service to the Miss America organization and to the country as a whole.
The Miss America crown stands for 4 points. It's service, style, scholarship, and success. So service is one of the very important attributes of being a part of the Miss America organization, and we try very hard to inspire people to become involved in their community with something that they're passionate about.
Organizations and volunteers are working across the nation to put together service events in their local communities. However, there are some groups that have worked hard to make it here at the Capitol today.
We are here to talk to a bunch of people about drug demand reduction, community service, and how we help our community by keeping kids off the streets and away from drugs.
Brittany Carr is a member of the Central Arizona Young Marines. She believes that her organization plays an important role in her community.
We raise money through a raffle throughout our community, and we worked all year in order to come here. And then with the help from our national executive director and his team, we were able to come out here.
The Central Arizona Young Marines are between the ages of 8 and 18.
They are taught at a young age the importance of service and what it means.
Service means helping other people and not just gaining it for yourself.
In Washington, D.C., Meredith Kelly, ELN Local News.
One ELN student is reaching out this winter term and looking to talk to other students about controversial topics in a class.
If you aren't feeling well, you're not alone. Flu season is here, and Joe Bruno has some ways you can prevent it.
We touch a lot of things every day.
The sorts of viruses we're talking about with the flu, they're spread by what's called droplet spread.
So that keyboard you typed on, that lever you turned to grab a paper towel, even the doorknob you turned to enter a room could be contaminated with flu virus.
And then when you do touch those things, you scratch your nose, you push your hair back, you chew your fingernails, you're spreading those droplets to yourself.
The flu is in the air, Elon, and there are some ways you can make sure this isn't a reality.
The best protection is still the flu vaccine.
You can get a flu shot at the health center, but the flu vaccine is only 65% effective. So there are some other measures you should take.
If you're signing a credit card receipt, take your own pen. In flu season, always carry your own pen to sign things.
And the easiest way to prevent the flu is by washing your hands. Avoid sharing common things like drinks and chapstick, and make sure you wipe down surfaces with antibacterial wipes before use. And if you do get sick, you need to stay rested, and of course, drink a lot of liquids.
You're going to be sick for about a week. You're going to be tired for another couple of weeks after that, so you'll be going to bed early. You won't be concentrating as well, but you're going to be fine.
If you are interested in getting a flu shot, you can get one at the health center for $15. If the health center runs out of the vaccine, you can also get a flu shot at Walmart or a local pharmacy.
Alamance Regional Medical Center announced last week that it broke ground on a new emergency department and cancer center. The $60 million project will double the size of the emergency department, increasing the number of treatment rooms from 26 to 58. The expansion will add 27,000 square feet. Hospital officials say they hope the expansion will allow patients to receive more efficient and effective care. The renovations are expected to be completed in late 2013.
ELN students are often thought to be living in a bubble. Junior Natalie Kuzmenko is trying to break it. Kuzmenko is teaching a class once a week during this year's winter term on topics of American controversy. Some of the topics she is focused on include gun control and the war on terror. We talked to Kuzmenko to find out why she is so committed to teaching students about these hot topics.
I mean, these are things that affect everyone, and if people don't keep their eyes open to it, then, drastic things could happen that they never thought would be able to happen.
The Truett Center for Religious and Spiritual Life is hosting a forum for the community to come and discuss gun control. The interfaith event is open to anyone who wants to discuss the issues of gun control and mental health care. Dinner will be provided at the event that runs from 7:30 to 9 p.m. in the Oak Room in Mosley.
Coming up in sports, an ELN athlete has a disappointing week. Find out who and why he may have a second shot. Welcome back to ELN Local News. I'm Justin Beagle here with your sports update. A day that looked promising ended in disappointment for ELN soccer star Chris Thomas. Last Thursday, the MLS Super Draft, Thomas watched as 38 other players heard their names called and walk across the stage at the Indiana Convention Center. Prior to the draft, Thomas was projected to be a first-round pick. But not to worry, Thomas will have a second shot of being drafted tomorrow night when the MLS will hold the supplemental draft. There, 78 more players will be selected by the 19 clubs in MLS. Follow me on Twitter at Justin_Beagle as I bring you updates from the supplemental draft tomorrow night. Friday evening, it was the women's basketball team's turn to take control of Alumni Gym, who were hosting Furman. Basket. Later on, Kelsey Evans would go in for the sure-handed jump shot. All right, there, Allie Ford would drive down the lane here and find Kelsey Harris, who would put it up and draw the foul, or Silas Red, rather. This is her first game back after tearing her ACL last year. And Allie Ford will put up the game-winning three-pointer. That would do it for Furman. Your final score, Alumni Gym, ELN 79, Furman 69. And finally, the men will be back at it again on Saturday night looking to get a win over Wofford to wrap up a perfect 3-for-3 weekend at Alumni Gym. The boys were looking for their third consecutive Southern Conference victory, and Lucas Troutman set the tone earlier with this slam-a-jam on the Phoenix opening possession. Troutman would have another monster dunk a minute later and give ELN a 6-point lead. But Wofford was able to rebound, matching ELN shot for shot. Here, Josh Bonney, filling in for the injured Austin Hamilton, goes in for the easy layup. The Phoenix would find themselves down 2 points at the half until Tanner Sampson would run down the lane for the easy bucket. The second half was a very physical one, but this go-ahead reverse layup by Sebastian Koch would give the Phoenix a 2-point lead with less than 2 minutes of play. With under 30 seconds to go, Lucas Troutman came through once again with a dramatic closing shot to seal the deal at Alumni Gym. A strong come-from-behind victory for the Phoenix. Your final score, ELN 68, Wofford 61. And joining me live in our ELN studios now are senior guard Allie Ford and junior forward Sebastian Koch to help me break down the college basketball season thus far. Guys, thank you guys very much for joining me today. I have 3 questions for you all. The first one is that so far you guys are on amazing winning streaks. What has been the reason for your success? Allie, we'll start with you.
I think it's just a total team effort. I think after we dropped that last one to North Carolina A&T, Coach Smith kind of pulled us aside and said, this is where you make your decision. This starts our new season, our conference season, and you guys are going to decide to play or you're going to fold. And I think we've won 6 in a row now, and I think it's just a total team decision that we decided we were going to take this conference season, conference play head on, and to this point we've been successful.
Sebastian?
I believe it's that we've matured a lot more since last season. We have a lot more upperclassmen, and we've been through this together for 3 years now, and we know what to do to be successful in this league.
So you guys have definitely played a lot of non-conference opponents who are very prestigious schools, who have a lot of winning records. Sebastian, you all played Duke. Allie, you guys played NC State. You both played South Carolina. What have you taken away from those experiences playing such teams, and how have they helped you become better basketball players?
When you play games like against Duke or NC State for them, you're at the big spotlight, and everybody's watching you. But in our case, we played Duke, and we played them very well the first half. And I believe if we can play like that for the entire game, we can compete with anybody, and that just shows that we just have to play hard the whole game.
Allie?
Just some of the same things. I mean, we got a chance to go into Reynolds Coliseum, which is, a historic, arena in North Carolina. And, yeah, the spotlights were on us, but we gave NC State a good game for 30, 35 minutes and didn't come out on top, but we learned and grew a lot in those games. And I think that the gap between ELN, the mid-major schools, and schools such as the ACC, the Big East, I think that gap is closing very rapidly. And with the hard work that both programs are putting in, we should see successful results in the near future.
Yeah, I'm sure all of those games were a lot of fun. My final question for you guys. We're in the heart and soul of Southern Conference play. What do we need to see from both of your respective squads in order to finish the year off? Actually, that's all the time we have for you guys. Thank you guys very much for joining me in the studio today. We wish you all the best of luck the rest of the season. Thank you for tuning in to this.
Thanks for tuning in for this ELN Local News. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Or you can follow us on the web at elonlocalnews.com. I'm Brenna McDavid.
And I'm Nicole Bloom. Have a great week, ELN.